Hi, I'm Pete Kiko, an auctioneer and realtor. I recently had an opportunity to sit down with Justin Haislip. He's a local State Farm insurance agent, and we discuss what insurance means as far as extended land coverage and insuring your recreational vehicles. This is what he had to say.
Fantastic question. So, again, I can speak to State Farm's insurance policy.
Right.
So, State Farm's policy states that if you have a homeowner's insurance policy in the state of Ohio, period, I have it. Say if you're in the market, so you're going to go buy some vacant land, and this is going to be your hunting land, right?
Okay.
Or your recreational land, whatever that might be. As long as it is vacant land, I can insure that, and State Farm can insure that anywhere in the United States.
Okay.
So you can have land in Montana. If it's vacant, we're good to go. At the point where you put a shed, a garage, a building, a detached structure of any sort on that property, if it's in the state of Ohio, all we'd have to do is add an endorsement, and then we would cover that land and that building.
Okay.
If it's outside of the state of Ohio, so say if you decide to buy land in Pennsylvania, you would just have to get an insurance policy on that building in that state. Okay? So as long as if you write it, you have a homeowner's insurance policy in the state of Ohio. We insure vacant land anywhere in the United States. Check. Good to go. At the point where you put a building on it, that's whenever it changes. So at that point, whether it's a shed, just a small shed, or a pole building, whatever that is, if it's in the state of Ohio, we just add an endorsement, cover that building, good to go. If it's outside of the state of Ohio, at that point you just have to get insurance in that state.
In that state.
Correct.
Right.
Because there's a building on that. That's a great question, man.
No, I'm kind of getting into that area. Obviously, like I mentioned, I have passion for it. Now, what about? Let's talk about if somebody has like a Polaris or a Can-Am or something like that, a recreational vehicle.
Correct.
Obviously, you guys can cover those too.
Correct.
As well,
Yes.
right? Anything else regarding these hunting properties or recreational properties that you can hit on? Anything else?
Yeah, so as far as one of the biggest questions is, does the liability extend? And the answer is yes. So God forbid you were out there and you had a bunch of family members. You look at all the Kiko folks. Say if all you guys went out to a big old recreational land, you guys had a whole bunch of fun, had a whole bunch of side-by-sides, dune buggies, whatever the situation may be. The liability is good. You got that. That covers the land.
From the homeowners?
From the homeowner's insurance policy. The answer is yes. Now, the issue is that, all right, if you have a Can-Am, you have another side-by-side, a four-wheeler, those things have to have their own insurance policy on them. That's where the liability comes from.
Right.
So if Pete Kiko is on Justin Haislip's land, you come over to my house with your Can-Am has to have its own insurance policy and liability. Okay? Mm-hmm. The land doesn't cover this item over here. It's this. If it has wheels on it in any sort and has a motor on it, it has to have its own insurance policy, and that's where the liability comes from. But the actual land itself, say if we're out there, we're having a football game or whatever it is, I step in a hole, snap my leg. If you were deemed liable for that, that'd fall underneath the homeowner's insurance policy. Is that correct? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not correct. That is correct, but does that make sense? That's
yeah. No, it does, and that's a thing a lot of people don't realize too.
Correct.
How their homeowners insurance can cover themselves and even some personal property too.
Correct.
Away from the home.
Correct.
Right.
It does not cover things with four wheels.
Right. Exactly.
Four wheels, you have to have its own insurance policy. Four wheelers, a dirt bike, a golf cart, any of those types of things, if they are used for recreational purposes, your homeowner's insurance policy doesn't extend to those things.
Mm-hmm.
So
because they have to have their own policy.
That's correct. They have to have their own insurance policy.
Exactly right.